question for Plante, since I already finished uploading the videos for Plante, so I hope a majority of you have already gone through the notes and also watched the video. And then what did I need to tell you? Oh, and then you're also free to ask me questions about uh, whatever it is you want to ask in chapter 1 so far. But I do want to show you something first. Hold on, I'm trying to find a video that I wanted to use. It's
control food.
sekejap. Okay, all right. I've set up my stuff. And the video is recording. Once again, good morning. Before we begin with the discussion of the tutorial itself, I would like to first share this video. This is something I already asked you to watch. Whether or not you can hear the sound, it doesn't matter. Ya, ini video yang saya send.
Cool, huh? Some of it's water. Okay. Most water. Different there. Oh, sad. Sad. I need to. Now, nothing is nowhere. Then, right? It's that. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere you don't need a bed. No. Yes. Get this. I want to be something. Go somewhere. Do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here. It probably happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, awesome. There's a universe. What's it made of? Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together. The world's going to get bigger, emptier. It's not empty yet. It's still very cold at about 1 jillion degrees. Great news. The quarks are now happily married in groups of 3, called proton and neutron. Something else flying around too, but wants to join in. Can't because it's still too. Great news. Protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Great news. The electrons have now plugged in. Congratulations. The world is now a bunch of gas in space. It's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's slow. An airship just got laid. Some stars burn out of diamond. Bigger stars burn out of diamond. Passion. Need some brand new, gray, crazy shit. Which allows new, interesting stars to be made. And the diamond explode. So now stars have cool stuff around, like rocks and ice and honey clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got a little ball of flaming rocks. And honey made of this, which is other update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Other update, those rocks might have blood inside them, and now there's hot steam in the sky. Other update, cooler temperatures today, and the cold is moving on. Other update, it's raining. Severe flooding will the entire world is now an ocean.
Okay, so why do I make you watch this stupid internet video? The reason is that although this video sounds stupid and macam dia tidak make sense, tapi actually apa yang dia sampaikan di sini adalah fakta saintifik yang kita tahu setakat ini, cuma dia sampaikan dalam cara yang agak bodoh sikit. Okay, so cara dia cakap bodoh-bodoh, but what is said here is actually agreed on science that we kind of pieced together over the many years. So this is how we theorize that the universe begins and the solar system begin, and how our earth was formed, and how our earth went from ball of gas to solid rock, and from solid rock suddenly we have the moon and then water. So technically how our earth begins. Now I'm going to continue the video, and it's going to touch a little bit more about how life began on earth. So kita tengok macam mana kehidupan mula di bumi menurut sains setakat ni.
Oh, cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from space ingredients left over from rocks or whatever. Oh yeah.
Okay, so another thing I want to select here, the very first life forms were probably chemoautotrophs. Okay, because it's using chemicals, doesn't use sunlight, make it sound good.
So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat some money. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food. Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere in the sky. Then you might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times. It's a sponge. It's a plant. It's a worm. And some other types of very strange water bugs and strange fish. Wow, that's animals and stuff. First on the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Wow. Sun is a dead laser. Okay. Now the animals can go on land. Come on, let's go on land. Nope, can't look at it. There's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, there's plants up here? Maybe. It says bugs. Okay.
Okay, so this is technically how we think animals started going on land, because there were plants in the ocean, there were protists that were photosynthetic, and somehow some of them started to become the first land plants, which is what we think look very similar to the very first bryophytes. Sorry, my neighbor's child is screaming, and I think that can be heard on the microphone. Ignore the child. So yeah, inilah bila saya cakap dalam kingdom plante ni, ada yang macam very similar to the first land plants. That means it's gonna look like this green stuff that is on the screen. And when we say it is more evolved, it's gonna look more like things we have now.
So I can go on land, but I have to go back to the water. Use a strong water. Baby, on land, in an egg. Water is in the egg. Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me. And now everything's huge. Wooden bugs. See a map of the water? Sure. Oh, now everything's dead. Just get near the survivors. Keep your eye on this one, because it's about to become dinosaurs. There's another all broken apart. Comes immediately. It's mammal time. Here come the mammals. Look at those breasts. Now they're going to dominate the world. One of them just learned how to grab stuff. Walk, walk like that. Grab stuff at the same time. Bang box together. Rocks. Ouch. It's like fire. Ouch. They make crazy sounds with their voice. Can mean everything. Now they're everywhere. Almost. At the stage. What you
Okay, so that is all I wanted to show for this video. The reason why I wanted to show that is to give you a picture of how the world started and how life evolves. So whenever in this chapter you hear the word evolution, it doesn't feel like it's a very foreign idea. Macam bila saya cakap perkataan evolution itu, dia tidak asing sangat bagi kamu. So you can see from the video, all that stuff happening is actually happening across millions and billions of years. So dia bukan hari ni dia microscopic and then besok lusa dia jadi besar. No, it's kind of like something that takes progress over hundreds, thousands, millions of years. So yeah, hope you don't directly reject the idea of evolution there. And because that is something that we're going to touch on a lot in this chapter as well. Okay, so I'll continue with the discussion of the tutorial lah. Kalau ada sebarang soalan, boleh tanya. You can continue watching the rest of that video if that is something that you like. If you don't quite like it, that's fine too. Tidak paksa aja. Okay, so now we're going to back to the boring black and white stuff. We're gonna look at our tutorial questions for this subtopic. So saya minta kamu jawab soalan ini sebab ini yang berkaitan dengan plante, tapi actually dia cuma berkait kepada bryophytes untuk soalan ini dan pteridophytes untuk soalan kedua. Okay, so let's have a look at this very first question. As usual, before we look at the marka-markamnya question, let's try to label on the diagram. As I've mentioned, this is a bryophyte. How do I know it's a bryophyte? Because I can read the title, and the title says Life Cycle of Polytrichum Species, which is a type of bryophyte under phylum Bryophyta. Okay, between W and Y, which one is the sporophyte and which one is the gametophyte of the plant? Can anyone try to answer that question? Are you guys there? Mana satu yang sporophyte, mana satu yang gametophyte antara W dengan Y? Okay, Bessie sudah jawab di chat. W sporophytes, Y gametophyte. Correct. But pay attention to your spelling. Gametophyte, gametophyte. Okay, so your E should be A and your A should be E. But good answer. Thank you, Bessie. And the W is the sporophytes. Correct. What about the Z? Anybody knows what Z is? Is the Z the male or the female part? Female. Okay, so if it is the female part of this one is the gametophyte, dia adalah enteridium kah archegonium? Darren, since you answered it's female, do you think this is the enteridium or the archegonium? Mana satu nama adalah merujuk kepada yang female part?
Archegonium female part.
Yes, thank you, Shu. Yep, correct. So this is the archegonium. Correct. Saya biasa ingat kalau enteridium dia sama saja macam kita belajar bunga tu kan. Enter adalah untuk lelaki. Alright, so another thing that you might be stuck here is this, X. So I noticed that this question is a little bit difficult for you because it's out of syllabus. Dulu kami kena suruh untuk ajar life cycle of polytrichum, tapi syllabus terkini kamu tiada. Jadi nota pun tidak terletak. But basically, from this diagram you can see this is more or less what the life cycle of polytrichum is like. Dia start dengan spore. Bila dia sudah jadi spore, dia akan bercambah dan jadi protonima. Kalau satu singular, dia adalah protonima. Kalau dia banyak, dia adalah protonimata. From protonimata, it's gonna form a bud. Okay, protonimata is very small, microscopic. When it forms a bud, it is bigger and you can see with your naked eyes. The bud grows. As it grows bigger, it can become a male one or a female one. And then the male one will produce enteridium. Female one will produce archegonium. Enteridium produces the sperm cells. Archegonium will produce the egg cells. I will send this picture in the Telegram later, so don't worry about that. And that brings us to the answer here. X is protonima ataupun protonimata. Dua-dua pun? Okay. So I'm gonna answer question 3A1. Name the structures labeled X and Z. This one is protonema. The Z is archegonium. Any problems with the diagram? If not, then I'm gonna go on to the next question. Okay, so no problems for that one. Then I'm gonna move on with question A2. Why is Polytrichum species more advanced than green algae? To answer this question, you need to think about the fact that green algae is living only in water. Okay, either it is freshwater or marine environment, whereas Polytrichum and other bryophytes are terrestrial plants. Dalam arti kata lain, soalan ini tanya, apa yang membolehkan tumbuhan seperti Polytrichum species boleh hidup di daratan berbanding dengan organisme seperti green algae? So for this one, you can answer any of the terrestrial adaptations of bryophytes to put in the answer. So can you guys tell me what are the answers that you choose? Kamu boleh baca nota, baca daripada jawapan kamu. Tolong share apa yang kamu pilih sebagai jawapan. Terrestrial adaptations of bryophytes. You can read it by opening your mic, or you can type in the chat also. My friend's kittens are in my room, so at the end of the Google Meet, if we finish early, I will show you the kittens. Okay, so Intan Nur Shamira answered water conservation by waterproof cuticle. Okay, so that is good. That is a good answer. You can say it has waterproof cuticles. Has water conservation by its waterproof cuticles. Very good. You can also read the other adaptations of bryophytes. Okay, I'm just going to read it out, the rest of my answers. Okay, so you can talk about the waxy cuticle or waterproof cuticle. You can also say that bryophytes have stomata to regulate gas exchange, because by regulating gas exchange, they are also controlling how much water they lose. And also, they have rhizoids for absorption and anchorage. Kalau kamu mau cakap pasal rhizoid pun boleh, sebab algae ini, green algae, ada daripada dia yang tiada rhizoid, yang not multicellular. So, when you say that Polytrichum has rhizoid to absorb nutrients and to anchor to a substrate is also correct. Okay, asalkan kamu ada bagi markah yang sesuai, bagi jawapan yang sesuai, kamu dapat 1 markah. Okay, any questions about bryophytes or this question in general before I go on to the next one? Okay. All right, then I'm going to go on. Oh, I will discuss the cakap tiada. Okay, thank you. Then we're going to go on to question 3B. The figure below represents the structure of a protallus from phylum Pterophyta. Kita boleh tulis Pterophyta ataupun Pteridophyta. Dua-dua nama pun betul. Alright, before I go on, I would like somebody to answer. Melvin, are you there, Melvin? I want to ask Melvin, what is a protallus? Melvin, kalau kamu tahu apa itu protellus, tolong tulis di chat ataupun buka mikrofon jawab. Bukan definisi pun tidak apa, asalkan kamu boleh uh, bagi tahu apa yang kamu faham pasal protellus. Okay, does anybody else want to answer if they know what is? Oh, okay. Yap, sudah jawab. Yap menunggu sejak chance mo send. Okay, Yap sent in the chat. Protellus is the gametophyte of a pteridophyte. So that, yes, that is correct. A protellus is the gametophyte of Pterophyta. And it's usually shown with a heart shape. It has the male gamete producing pods and female gamete producing pods, and it also has rhizoids. So over here on the diagram, it asks you to label what is A, B, and C. Let me double check if this is in your notes. Okay. Diagram ini tiadalah dalam nota kamu yang terkini. I'm gonna see if it's in my older notes. Okay, tiada juga. That's fine, it's fine. It's a chance for you to learn something new. Okay, so here, this thing, C, is the rhizoid. Yang nampak macam akar tapi bukan akar sebenar. So that's a rhizoid. A and B, one of them is the male producing part and the other one is the female producing part. Since this is not in your syllabus, it's okay if you don't know. I'm just going to give you the answer right away. A is actually the male producing one, the enteridium ataupun enteridia. And the B structures are the female producing structures. So this is the archegonia or archegonium. Disebabkan dia ada banyak, saya guna yang plural punya spelling. Okay, so when we are answering here, A would be enteridia, B would be archegonium. State the function of structure C. Does anyone want to try answering this question? State the function of structure C. Structure C is a rhizoid. Wafa ada? Wafa, kamu rasa apa function rhizoid? The cats are wrestling in my room. Nah, gaduh sudah, gaduh sudah. Nanti baru konten. Okay, Wafa answered the function of a rhizoid is for water transport and adhesion to surface. Okay, so that is correct. I think that is correct. Let me double check. Yep, correct. So it is for water transport. Ataupun lebih tepat lagi kita boleh cakap for water absorption, untuk menyerap daripada memunggahkan air. Kalau kamu mau tambah dan cakap water and mineral absorption pun boleh. Or it is also for adhesion or anchorage, for anchor to surfaces. Also correct. So jawapan Wafa tu betul, boleh dapat 1 markah. Mas Mira tanya dalam chat, function of rhizoid to anchor the bryophytes to the soil. No, because this question is about phylum Therophyta. Jadi kalau kita cakap pasal bryophyte, salah sudahlah. So if you say to anchor the plant to the soil, boleh. Uzail tanya, for absorbing nutrients? Yes, correct. It can be for absorbing nutrients. So dapat 1 markah juga. Latte, maki. Okay, so any more answers ataupun ini okay sudah? Okay, all right, good. Then we're going to move on to the next question. The protellus is normally found in damp conditions. Suggest one reason for this. Anybody knows why the protellus, the gabitophyte, needs to be in damp conditions? Damp means lembab. Ada air punya lembab, bukan orang punya lembab. Any reason at all? Anybody want to try to answer this one? Shifa? Shifa, do you have an idea why the protellus needs to be in damp conditions? Ini yang saya skip nih, Miss. Alright, at least kamu jujur. Anybody else? Anybody knows why the protellus needs to be in damp conditions? Because protellus possess true vascular tissues, not quite precisely, not because of that. Uzair, getting close to the answer. Yes, it has something to do with reproduction. Intan, betul, importance in fertilization. But how is it important? Why exactly is water important? Because the plant gets thirsty after it do the sex, so it needs to drink water? Is that why? Movement, getting close. Akil is correct. Okay. Okay. Alice, Bessie, and Uzair have given. Alice and Bessie have given the most correct answer, which is talking about the structure of the sperm cell in pteridophytes. The sperm is flagellated, dia ada flagella, so dia mesti berenang melalui air. So their answer is correct. Correct. Flagellated sperm must swim through water to reach the egg. Eva pun baru salin jawapan yang sama. Okay, I'm gonna copy that because I'm too lazy to type, to write. Okay, so the answer for that is because flagellated sperm must swim through water to reach the egg. Flagellated. Okay. Okay, siapa yang bagi jawapan yang berkaitan dengan flagella or flagellated sperm, then you can get 1 mark. Jawapan Uzai reproduction and fusion occurs effectively in the presence of water is not that correct. So I cannot give mark for that one. Okay, all right. So that's good. Good try. A lot of you got to the correct answer. That's good. All right. So we are moving on to the final question. This one has 3 marks. Pteridophytes Pteridophytes are more adapted to terrestrial ecosystem than bryophytes. Why? So this one, you're going to talk about the other terrestrial adaptations of pteridophytes that bryophytes do not have. For this one, okay, this one you can talk about the vascular system, the vascular tissues. Anybody want to try typing your answers in the chat or opening your mic to answer? Saya tunggu kamu jawab lah untuk yang ni. Okay. Lim has answered in the chat. Pteridophytes have true roots, stems, and leaves. So this one is correct. They have true roots, stems, and leaves. Good, very good. Related to this, we can also give the answer that Presley gave in the chat. Tadi Presley masa kita jawab pasal protellus tu kamu ada mention pasal true vascular tissues. Soalan tadi kurang tepat tapi soalan ini kalau kamu cakap pasal dia ada true vascular tissues, then boleh dapat 1 markah. True vascular tissues ataupun mungkin lebih tepat lagi kita boleh cakap dia ada simple vascular tissues. Okay, dia simple vascular tissue sebab dia punya xylem satu bentuk sahaja. Dia tiada itu vessel elements. Dia punya phloem tiada companion cell. Dan dia punya xylem dengan phloem itu tiada lignin. Ataupun lignin dia tidak berapa kuat. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. Another point that you can get for this question is you can say about how the sporophyte is independent of the gametophyte. Because in pteridophytes, this is when the plants started to, the sporophyte generation started to be separate from the gametophytes. Or you can also say mature sporophytes. Independent from gametophytes. Sebab kalau kita ingat balik yang bryophytes itu, dia punya sporophyte selama-lamanya perlu melekat dengan dia punya gametophyte. Untuk pteridophyte pula, gametophyte dia adalah protellus dan mesti di tempat yang lembab. Yang sporophyte bercambah dari sini, so masa dia kecil dia masih bergantung kepada gametophyte dia. Tapi semakin dia membesar, dia semakin berdikari dan gametophyte ini tidak berguna sudahlah. The sporophyte can live on its own. And it can even live in areas that are a little brighter or a little bit drier compared to the gametophytes. So, kita bayangkanlah, pakis tu. Kadang-kadang siang-siang pun kau tengok ada dia di sana. Okay, so it can survive in a It can survive better with the different environments. And that makes it more adapted to terrestrial ecosystems. But of course, when we learn about gymnosperms and angiosperms, we can see that these more evolved plants are going to be even better adapted for terrestrial ecosystems. Okay, so any questions about this? Each of this is going to be 1 mark. Ini satu marka, satu marka, satu marka. Kalau kamu gabungkan 3 point dalam satu ayat yang panjang, pun nanti kamu pisah-pisah lah. Satu segmen, satu marka, satu segmen, satu marka. Gitu. Okay, any questions before I go on with the lesson? Okay, I think no more questions. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna show you the essay question. Ini saya tidak minta kamu buat, tapi saya maklumkan sajalah ada option dia. So when you go to the essay questions later, or maybe you already try doing, you see that question 1A and 1B are about arthropoda, annelids, and flatworms. So this is going to be in kingdom Animalia. Dimorphism by using obelia as an example is also in kingdom Animalia. Here there is one question for Plantae. Make comparisons between plants from the group conifers and angiosperms. You can try to do this question on your own later. But basically, you need to compare. That means making a list of the similarities and also the differences. So asalkan kamu ada sampai 10 point, then you can get full marks. Tidak boleh semua differences saja, tidak boleh semua similarity saja. So I'm also gonna show you the answer scheme for this question. Make comparison between plants from the group conifers and angiosperms. Conifers is referring to gymnosperm, but only for phylum Coniferophyta. So kamu bayangkan, kamu bandingkan pokok pine dengan bunga raya atau pokok durian dan sebagainya. Okay, so if we're talking about the differences, then you can go with any of these. For example, you can talk about the sexual reproductive structure. Angiosperm apa, conifer apa. How are the flower parts or the cone parts arranged? Ini macam out of syllabus juga lah. So ini kalau kamu tidak terpikir point ini pun tidak apa. Seeds are enclosed by the fruit wall or pericarp, or the ovules are enclosed by the ovary. This one is in your syllabus. Seeds are not protected or exposed or naked. That one is also in your syllabus. You can talk about whether the plant has vessel elements or not. Kalau angiosperm, ada vessel element. Conifer, tiada vessel element. Phloem dia pula dalam angiosperm ada companion cell. Dalam conifer, tiada companion cell. Angiosperm has double fertilization. Conifers, no double fertilization. Angiosperm pollination agent is by several agents. Conifers pollination is by wind only. In angiosperm, the seed possesses endosperm, and in conifers, the seed do not possess endosperm. There are also several similarities in that they are both seed-producing plants, both are vascular plants or they have complex vascular tissues. The dominant phase is both sporophyte. The gametophyte is dependent on the sporophyte. Both are heterosporous and no water is needed for fertilization. Maximum differences yang kamu boleh dapat marka, maximum 6 marka. Dan maximum 4 marka untuk similarities. Dan total adalah 10 marka. So kalau kamu bagi differences saja, maximum 6. Kalau kamu bagi similarities saja, maximum 4. Macam itulah. I don't know how you will do your PSPM this year. Saya rasa memang kerajaan akan minta kamu buat PSPM face-to-face. So no problem with that one. Cuma adakah kamu punya face-to-face objektif ataupun essay? Itu nanti lah kita tengok. Susah juga mau cakap. Chapter 1 tidak akan masuk PSPM, so you don't need to do essay for chapter 1. But it's good to start practicing with it if you want. Okay. All right. Any questions about this? Masa kamu submit tutorial nanti di GC, kamu tidak perlu buat yang bahagian essay lah, saya tidak wajibkan. Tapi bahagian structure ini, soalan 321 ini mesti buat, dan soalan objektif mesti buat. So, after Animalia, complete this tutorial, tanda berdasarkan answer scheme yang saya akan post di GC, and then post your marked tutorial question in the GC. Sebagai bukti yang kamu dapat kerja lah. Okay, that's about what I want to say for this class. Oh, there's one more thing I want to ask. Itu sejak pasal pembelajaran. Now I want to ask about next week's plan. So this week is week 3. Next week is week 4 in your takwim. Chinese New Year week is week 5. Sebelum kita cakap pasal Chinese New Year, saya cakap dulu pasal minggu depan. College ada keluarkan memo di mana kami diminta untuk laksanakan ada kelas bersemuka, yaitu Google Meet ataupun Zoom or whatever else I want to choose. Dan kedua kami perlu buat setengah kelas itu adalah asynchronous learning ataupun pembelajaran tidak bersemuka. Minimum jam untuk kelas bersemuka adalah 2 jam seminggu. Which is pretty much what we are doing. Sekarang pun kita buat 2 Google Meet satu minggu. So, saya rasa sepatutnya okay lah kan dengan kamu. Kita bincang tutorial and ini, the main reason for doing these discussions is so that you stay on track and I stay on track. And, you know, when there is outside pressure, you are less likely to procrastinate on work. So we still need 2 hours GM per week. And I'm wondering, are you okay with Monday and Friday? 1 jam, 1 jam? Ataupun kamu lebih suka kalau Monday terus 2 jam? Or do you want Monday and Thursday? I still want to keep Monday. Saya memang mau Monday supaya kita start minggu itu awal and that makes us feel productive. And you'll feel good about yourself for being productive. But I just want to know where you want the second hour to be. Vote. Oh yeah, can we can do a poll. Oh yes, I get to do polls. I like polls. Oh, yeah. Okay. 2 hours. Okay, so first option is A, Monday 1 hour plus Friday 1 hour. Second option is Monday 2 hours. Third option is Monday 1 hour plus Thursday. Okay. All right. You should be able to see the poll at the bottom of the page. How long have I not been sharing my screen? I thought I was sharing my screen just now. Turns out I wasn't. Okay. Okay, so far we have 11 votes. There is 48 of you here, 47 of you here with stable line. Saya tunggu sampai 40 lebih votes lah. Okay, so far we have 29 votes, 30 votes. 31 votes. Is Google Meet. Okay, so far 37, 39 votes. All right. As you can see from the screen here, we have 39 people who have already voted, and a majority of you will want to keep the Monday 1 hour and Friday 1 hour punya schedule. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with this. Thank you very much for your responses. And did I leave the poll? I'm gonna end the poll, okay? Oh, 40. Okay. Na pala. Ako teruskan na hindi. I mean, I'm already gonna take this result, but it's fun to do polls. So I let you keep doing the poll. Okay, ini pa saya menulis dari tadi. Saya tidak record pula. Okay. Right. From the result of the poll, we are gonna stick with this one. Monday 1 hour and Friday 1 hour. So ideally, I will use the hours like we already do now, which is Monday 8 lebih. Okay. Mo tsaka pukul 8 tepat untuk saya pun. Like, I'm not very good at that timing. So, 8 lebih setiap minggu. And Friday, ideally around 10 a.m. macam ni lah. So, you have enough time to like go for early lunch or something. Okay. Next week, we stick with this one also lah. Okay. So, Monday, 1 hour, and Friday, 1 hour. Okay. For Chinese New Year week, which is in week 5, next week we will go into Animalia. We will hopefully finish Animalia and go into chapter 2. For Chinese New Year week, which is week 5, I'll go into chapter 2. We won't be doing any Google Meet. Sebab hari Isnin sampai Kamis adalah cuti. Dan hari Jumaat itu macam belum confirm cuti ke tidak. But I will be celebrating Chinese New Year. I'm not gonna be doing Google Meet. I will post the materials early. And so you can do the exercise and stuff early. And you can still ask me questions on WhatsApp or on Telegram. Kalau kamu mau tanya soalan kan, kamu terus saja tanya soalan dalam chat. Nanti bila saya senang, saya akan balas. If you're waiting for me to say, ya boleh tanya soalan, baru kamu tanya soalan, takut nanti lambat kamu tunggu. Okay, yeah. So we will finish chapter 2 in week 5. Maybe we will go on to chapter 3. Saya tengok lagi lah. I will confirm that later. But no Google Meet. Monday to Tuesday is holiday. Friday, asynchronous learning. Another question I need to ask you is, are any of you going back? Minggu Chinese New Year tu, are any of you going back home to celebrate Chinese New Year? Biliska bilang dia jalan-jalan jadi camel. Okay, so there's a poll. There's a poll going on. Siapa yang balik tolong jawab. Okay. Bagi yang tidak balik, Saya sarankan kamu ikut jejak diorang Eveliska untuk jalan-jalan dalam KML sama diorang Claire, sama diorang Uzair. Sebab selepas Chinese New Year, yang balik bercuti untuk sambut tahun baru akan datang balik. Yang PDT yang belum masuk akan datang balik. So, satu college akan quarantine sekali lagi. But at least sekarang kamu tahu awal sikit. Okay? Sama ada satu college quarantine ataupun pelajar yang baru masuk saja quarantine. I'm not sure what will be the final verdict. But at least in the 1 week, you can jalan-jalan, puas-puas, lari-lari di Padang, and then later mengeteh dalam bilik sendiri masing-masing dalam blok lah. Yeah, it happens. I'm sorry, we're in the pandemic. Can't really get rid of the virus right away. Okay, so far from the people who have answered the poll, 2 out of 17 people are going home. So tidaklah ramai sangat yang balik bercuti. Jangan kecam orang yang balik bercuti, okay? Sebab ini perayaan. Jadi kita, I don't know, maybe it doesn't click for you yet, but if when you're older, maybe you've experienced a few family events, family stuff going on, and you learn to appreciate like how much time you spend with your family. Then you'll see like, okay, because I'm now at the age yang macam, kalau boleh perayaan balik lah, jumpa orang tua before, before anything like sakit lagi ka. So better balik bila ada chance. Okay, so all right. So far, 3 people are confirmed they're gonna go home for Chinese New Year. Okay, safe travels. Hopefully, everybody follows SOP on your journey and that you and your family will be well. Yang lain, kalau tidak balik, pastikan kamu gunakan masa kamu di KML dengan baik. Jalan-jalan. Ya, penuh sudah di KML, nanti tambah ramai lagi. What to do? It's how it is. Okay. After that, I think week 6, you will be fully online. Macam kita sekarang lah, fully online. Hopefully week 7, you will be able to do hybrid learning. Hybrid learning, oh my gosh. Hybrid learning means we will have some time online and some time face-to-face. If I'm not mistaken, we also need to start doing lab practicals around week 7. Di sini saya ambil kesempatan untuk cakap pasal kamu punya ujian amali. I know it's a lot of information, but I'm just throwing it out there so you're not scared later. This arrow. Ujian amali kamu adalah berkaitan dengan eksperimen 11 fotosintesis chromatography. So you can go and find out what the heck is chromatography and what does that have to do with photosynthesis. Nanti bila boleh face-to-face sudah, kita akan adakan lab. Dalam lab, kamu akan belajar macam mana buat eksperimen ini. Kita akan bincang kamu punya lab report. Dan dalam week 8 ataupun week 9, kita akan mula practical test. Ini saya belum confirm lagi lah minggu ke berapa. 8 ke 9 ke 10. Tapi sebelum kamu punya mid-sem break lah. So, don't worry about the practical test. Asalkan kamu ikut nasihat saya, masa kita belajar eksperimen. Oke, saja tuh masa kamu practical test. Boleh full mark, tapi mesti dengar cakap lah. Kalau tidak dengar cakap, memanglah tidak markah. Oke? Oke. Oh, one more thing I want to ask you. Okay, saya sudah cakap pasal cuti. Saya sudah bagi warning pasal ujian amali. Saya mau bagi warning pasal... Bukan warning, saya mau tanya kalau kamu mau ini. Do you want printed versions of the past year questions? Ataupun tutorial question sets? Ini saya tidak buat poll. Oh, okay. Some of you want. All right. A lot of you want. Okay, a lot of you are typing in the chat that you want the printed version. Nanti saya buka Google Sheet lagi. Ataupun ketua kelas boleh tolong. Saya mau bagi ketua kelas buat kah? Saya yang buat. Later I do the sheet. Ketua kelas pastikan siapa yang mau order isi sebelum hari Selasa depan. Boleh? And then I will try to get it printed. Nanti dalam borang yang saya minta kamu isi itu kamu nyatakanlah chapter berapa yang kamu mau saya tolong print. Dan saya akan nyatakan harga menurut set yang kamu minta. Pastikan kalau yang sudah print tuh rajin sedikit. Okay. Right. I will open order later. Okay, so that is pretty much it for my lesson. And dalam kelas hari ini kita sudah bincang pasal tutorial question untuk structure. Nombor 3 yang pasal bryophytes dengan pteridophytes. Dan saya ada tunjuk sedikit macam mana mau jawab ataupun poin yang kamu perlu ada dalam essay kamu untuk conifers and angiosperms. And I also gave you a few announcements. If you have any questions about the announcements later, feel free to ask in the Telegram or in the WhatsApp groups or privately. I'm fine with it. And that is pretty much all for me. I'm gonna end the lesson here. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. Anybody who wants to leave the meeting, feel free to leave. Anybody who wants to stay and look at the kittens, I'm gonna switch the camera over to the kittens. Meow. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
I
you,
want to
Miss.
see the
Thank you, Miss.
I want to see the kittens.
Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Meows?
Thank you, Miss.
Yeah, nakal. Okay. These belong to my housemate. They don't belong to me. This one is Tesla. She's the girl. They are about, how old are you? 4 months? 6 months? Hey, malu. Bisa bising. Wait, this is 2 boys who are fighting. This one is Hitler because of the mustache. Thank you. Thank you for cleaning my thumb. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wait. No, baby. Okay. This one is Bulldog. Okay. This one is Bulldog. He is also boy. Hello, boy. Look, his students. They type meow. They did not open their mic to say meow. No. It's 2 more. Yeah.
Miss, adik-beradik kah?
Ya, adik-beradik. Kawan saya sambut lagi bila dia kena beranak. This one is Macchiato. Maki? Ini pun manja. Manja dia tu.
Yang Miss pegang tu apa, Miss? Anu kah? Apa? Yang first kah?
Tidak tahu, kawan saya yang sambut. Satu-satu dia sambut. Saya tidak ingat sudah. And this is Latte. Hi, Latte. This is Latte boy. The other day, he peed in my laundry basket. So he's a naughty, stinky boy. Kencing atas baju orang. Nasib kain tutur. Kan? Kan dati? Nanggap deh. Ini yang begaduh tadi. And we have a big chunky boy. Funny man. Ay, ini kawan saya pungut dari tepi jalan. Hello, Shoni. How are you? And students want to see you. He is big
Hai
boy.
Shoni.
Nah, Shoni.
Ayo,
Ini
Yen.
jangan. Ini. He is a handsome boy with collar and no balls. Sudah kebiri. Nah, sudah kena kebiri. Kalau dia begaduh, dia terkejut sampai dia terberak. Thank you, Shoni. He also likes kids. And the kids like him. Yes. Bau. Okay. Kamu memang mau tinggal kucing sampai habis kan? Okay, anybody who wants to leave, feel free to leave lah. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Miss. Kirim salam sama kucing meow meow.
Bye,
Miss
Miss.
yang Oyen. Oyen is called Shoni. Alright, bye guys.
Bye,
Bye.
Miss. Thank you.
Okay, Miss. Bye, Miss. Thank you,
Bye. We'll
Miss.
stop
Bye,
recording. Bye.
Miss.
Bye, Shoni.